The intergalactic veterinary station hummed with activity, a dazzling display of alien species and their diverse creatures seeking care. Sleek, advanced medical pods lined the walls, attended by hovering diagnostic drones. Yet, in the midst of all this technological marvel, tension simmered. Dr. Vexalan, the station's chief alien vet, a tall figure with shimmering scales and elongated limbs, stood rigidly before a desperate group of planetary officials. Their problem was enormous, both figuratively and literally. A gravith, a colossal beast vital to the agricultural ecosystem of the planet Terravon, lay critically ill. Its thick, iridescent hide trembled weakly, and its usually glowing eyes had dimmed to dull embers. Without the gravith to till and fertilize their vast farms, food production would collapse, leading to planetary starvation. "I'm sorry," Dr. Vexalan's voice was cold and unyielding. "Our diagnostic protocols indicate that the creature's internal systems have failed beyond repair. Advanced alien medicine offers no solution." The officials protested, their voices a cacophony of worry and frustration. "There must be something you can do. This beast is the backbone of our entire agricultural system." Dr. Vexalan shook his head. "Attempting treatment would be a waste of resources. Its death is inevitable." A voice cut through the tense atmosphere. "I wouldn't be so sure about that." The crowd parted to reveal Dr. Kate Reynolds, the only human veterinarian stationed here. Short, sturdy, with a no-nonsense demeanor, she was a stark contrast to the elegant and aloof alien specialists. Her brown hair was pulled back into a practical ponytail, and her sharp blue eyes scanned the gravith with clinical precision. The officials looked at her skeptically. "You're the human vet." "That's right," Kate said briskly, striding toward the gravith. "And I'm not ready to call it quits just yet." Dr. Vexalan sneered. "What could a primitive species like yours possibly offer that our superior medicine cannot?" Kate ignored the insult. She crouched beside the gravith, her practiced hands moving over its massive body. "Back on Earth, I've treated animals just as stubborn as this one. Cows, horses, you name it. Sometimes, the trick isn't about having the fanciest tech, it's about understanding the creature and thinking creatively." The gravith let out a weak, mournful sound. Kate's expression hardened. "I need access to your diagnostic data and some space to work. If you're also convinced I'll fail, what do you have to lose?" The officials glanced nervously at Dr. Vexalan, who scoffed but reluctantly stepped aside. "Do as you wish, human. But don't expect miracles." Kate rolled up her sleeves. "Miracles? Nah. Just good old-fashioned veterinary work." As she set to work, the air in the station shifted. Skepticism lingered, but beneath it was a flicker of hope. Dr. Kate Reynolds was about to show them exactly what humanity was capable of. Kate stood beside the towering gravith, her mind already dissecting the problem as alien assistants watched her with disdain. The beast's breathing was shallow, its abdomen unnaturally distended. Most of the alien diagnostics were useless to her, they relied too heavily on automated algorithms that lacked intuition. What she needed was a hands-on approach. "Get me a basic scanner and a manual probe," Kate ordered, ignoring the incredulous stares from the assistants. One reluctantly handed her a sleek, serpentine tool that writhed slightly in her grip. "Primitive," one muttered under his breath. Kate didn't flinch. Sometimes primitive gets the job done. She pressed the scanner against the gravitha's side, carefully reading the biofeedback. Beneath the layers of muscle and dense tissue, something wasn't right. The patterns of energy flow were disrupted, and strange clusters showed up in the digestive tract. Her brow furrowed. "You've missed something simple," she muttered to herself. "Blockage, maybe?" The alien assistant scoffed. "A gravitha's digestive system is self-purging. Blockages are impossible." Kate shot them a sharp look. "Tell that to the creature dying right in front of us." She grabbed the probe, inserting it with care. The gravith let out a low groan but didn't resist. The probe confirmed her suspicion, a dense mass obstructing the digestive tract, likely exacerbated by some parasitic infection. Her Earth experience kicked in. She'd seen cows nearly die from ingesting the wrong plants or getting tangled with invasive parasites. "We need to flush its system," she announced. Dr. Vexalan, who had returned to watch the spectacle, raised a scaly brow. You propose using a chemical purge? That would destroy its cellular matrix. Not chemicals, Kate said, already rifling through the available tools. Mechanical stimulation combined with an organic slurry to break down the blockage. That's barbaric. It works, she snapped. Unless you want to stand around debating while it dies. There was a tense silence before Vexillan grudgingly gestured for his assistants to comply. Kate wasted no time. She crafted a mixture using a base of alien bionutrients, laced with Earth-derived enzymes she'd synthesized for cases like this. The assistants were horrified by the concoction, but Kate didn't care. She injected the slurry directly into the Gravitha's system and then applied rhythmic compressions to its abdomen, mimicking a manual massage technique used in large mammals. The Gravith shuddered violently, its body racked with spasms. Alarms blared as its vitals fluctuated wildly. The aliens panicked, but Kate remained laser-focused. Hold it down, she barked. Reluctantly, the assistants moved in, restraining the beast as Kate continued her work. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours, but finally, the Gravith let out a powerful, echoing bellow. Its body relaxed, and the diagnostic monitors stabilized. Kate wiped sweat from her brow. Told you it wasn't impossible. The aliens stared in stunned silence, unable to reconcile what they'd just witnessed. The Gravitha's initial stabilization was promising, but the battle was far from over. Kate's eyes flicked to the monitors, tracking erratic spikes in its bio-readings. The blockage was cleared, but the lingering damage from the parasitic infection had sent its immune system into chaos. She turned to the group of alien assistants hovering nearby. I need a breakdown of the parasite's genetic structure and its metabolic effects on the host. A tall assistant sneered. Our systems have already analyzed it. There's no cure. Kate's lips pressed into a thin line. Your systems failed because you relied too much on pre-programmed solutions instead of actual problem-solving. Ignoring their objections, she accessed the database herself, quickly cross-referencing the parasite's biology with Earth analogs. Its structure was surprisingly similar to a fungal infection she'd seen in livestock back home, one that had required an aggressive yet unconventional treatment. Her fingers moved rapidly across the console. Do you have high-frequency ultraviolet emitters and an antifungal serum with broad-spectrum compatibility? The assistant's scales rippled with disbelief. Ultraviolet treatment on internal tissues? That's reckless. It's effective, Kate shot back. And right now, it's our best shot. The Gravith let out a pained bellow, its body convulsing. Time was running out. Kate's jaw clenched as she grabbed the emitter and positioned it carefully along the beast's flank. She calibrated the device, setting it to emit controlled bursts directly into the affected tissues. Administer the serum as I direct, she ordered, her tone brooking no argument. Reluctantly, the assistant complied, injecting the glowing liquid at precise intervals. The Gravitha's tremors intensified, its body writhing against the restraints. The air grew thick with tension as the alien observers whispered among themselves, clearly expecting failure. Kate kept her focus razor-sharp. Come on, big guy. Fight through this. The Gravitha's bio-readings spiked dangerously, teetering on the edge of collapse. Kate adjusted the emitter's frequency, fine-tuning the intensity. The parasite's hold was weakening, but the Gravitha's body was struggling to recover from the trauma. Pulse the serum now, she commanded. The assistant hesitated but followed her directive. A final surge coursed through the Gravitha's massive frame. For a moment, everything went still. The monitors flatlined. Kate's heart clenched, but she refused to give in. Increase oxygen flow. Stimulate cardiac response. Her fingers flew over the controls, administering a precise electrical jolt. The Gravitha's chest heaved, and a deep, resonant bellow filled the chamber as its heart restarted. Bio-readings stabilized, showing steady improvement. A stunned silence fell over the room. The impossible had been done. Kate exhaled slowly, her muscles taut with relief. Told you I wasn't here to lose. The alien assistants exchanged bewildered glances, their arrogance shattered. Dr. Vexillan stood motionless, disbelief etched across his face. Kate didn't need their praise, results spoke louder than words. The Gravith stood on its feet, its massive frame steady and powerful once again. Its iridescent hide shimmered under the station lights, and its glowing eyes had regained their vibrant hue. Kate stepped back, wiping her hands on her stained lab coat, exhaustion threatening to pull her down. But the sight of the recovering beast made it all worth it. The alien officials approached cautiously, their disbelief evident. One of them, with a long crest of shimmering spines, finally spoke. "You did what our most advanced technology could not." "How?" Kate shrugged. "Animals aren't just machines. Sometimes you need more than diagnostics and protocols. You need intuition, experience, and a little grit." Dr. Vexelan stood off to the side, his expression unreadable. He had watched every step of the procedure, his arrogance chipped away by the undeniable success in front of him. Finally, he stepped forward, his tone begrudging. "Your methods were unorthodox. Risky, even. But they worked," Kate countered, meeting his gaze without flinching. He inclined his head slightly. "Indeed. Perhaps there is merit in your primitive approach." Kate smirked. "High praise coming from you." The Gravith let out a low, contented rumble, drawing the attention of everyone present. Farmers from Teravon, who had anxiously awaited news, broke into cheers, their gratitude palpable. The beast's recovery meant their planet would thrive once more. One of the officials stepped forward, extending a multi-jointed arm. "Dr. Reynolds, on behalf of Teravon, we owe you a debt of gratitude. Your name will be remembered here for generations." Kate shook the offered limb, a warm smile spreading across her face. "Just doing my job." The assistants who had doubted her stood awkwardly, clearly uncertain about how to react. One finally cleared his throat. "Your methods were insightful. We learned much from observing you." "Good," Kate said. "Maybe next time, you'll think twice before dismissing a human vet." As the crowd began to disperse, Dr. Vexelan lingered. "I underestimated you, Dr. Reynolds. That won't happen again." Kate arched a brow. "Appreciate the honesty." He hesitated before speaking again. "I would be honored to collaborate with you in the future. There is much we can learn from each other." Kate's smile softened. "Now that's the smartest thing you've said all day." As the station returned to its usual hum of activity, Kate stood beside the now resting Gravith. She knew this victory was just one of many challenges she would face out here among the stars. But today had proven that humanity's ingenuity and determination had a place in even the most advanced corners of the galaxy. She patted the Gravitha's side gently. "See? Told you we'd get through this." The beast rumbled in response, a sound of contentment and strength restored. Kate turned toward the station's entrance, ready for whatever came next. She had shown them what humans were made of, and there was no going back now.